Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Joey and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now today, per request of one of my viewers, I will be covering the Burston incarnon today. Now this is arguably the best weapon in the entire game. It can dish out ridiculous amounts of damage. It has a 600 round clip in the incarnon form, which is just absolutely ridiculous. It goes from a 3-shot burst to a full auto, pretty much light machine gun, and you could bring this pretty much anywhere in the game and it's gonna kill everything for you. This thing is so powerful. You could build it in a few different ways. What I have for you guys is I have 2 builds for you guys today, but before I get into the builds, I want to show you guys the incarnon traits. So first things first, the first incarnon trait we're actually gonna go for this one here, the 2 punch through, because this one does not actually affect the incarnon form. I was just messing around with some non-incarnon form stuff. That's why I had this on. So you're best off just going with this anyway, because you're not going to get any incarnon benefit out of this, and you're only going to get benefit out of this on the last shot of your magazine. Now, for the second one here, both of these also don't affect the incarnon form, so we go for the recoil, as this is the only one that's going to somewhat help the incarnon form, even though the incarnon form already pretty much has no recoil, so these really don't matter all that much. You can go for the extra base mag cap if you want to for, easier stacking without having to reload. It's up to you. Then for the final evolution, we go for the 22% critical chance increase to our base crit. There is direct damage on Fatal Affliction, and then this really crappy Reaver's Rapture. They don't tell you this on the ability, but this only stacks up to 100 additive %, so it's like a rank 6 serration. It's really bad. Do not use this. So yeah, I'm just going to go with the crit here, because it's going to bump our crit in the incarnate form all the way up to a flat 50%, which is just amazing. So what we're going to talk about now is real fast that this incarnon weapon has 2 instances of damage in the incarnon form, which is really nice for just dishing out like double dips and different instances of corrosive for stripping and heat for dot stacking, which is really nice. So what we have here is your typical, this is like your red crit corrosive heat setup for this weapon with galvanized aptitude. Now, whenever I use galvanized aptitude builds, these are meant for priming, at least having like a companion that's going to provide you with enough elements to beat out serration. Now, I do want to mention that this will not affect the radial attack, so if you do want to just go for serration, you could just opt this way instead. If you want to just go for this, we already have deadhead though, so we're getting 360% bonus already to the radial and the base attack. So I figured having the CO on the initial target that I'm shooting at would be the most beneficial for a build like this. So then basically we just have our 60/60s for corrosive. We don't need to run heat because the incarnate form has innate heat. We run crit delay plus vital sense and also hammer shot. We're hitting 9.6x critical damage without a riven, and we're going to be red critting with galvanized scope. We're getting 151% with before we do any galvanized scope stacking, which is really nice. I have prime stay plus deadhead. You could go for, instead here, since we have the minus recoil there, you could just go for like Vig supplies here instead, and you could just get the crit tier increase. This is definitely better. Just go for this. Now I'll give you guys a little look at what the build does here. Now you see you burst fire to charge up your incarnon. And I am running deadhead on this build, so we're going to go for headshots. You can see there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then you can see our gal scope is also stacking, so we're getting red crits. And you could just see the amount of damage this thing dishes out. I mean, look, this is how fast it shoots without a fire rate mod. This is just reinforced bond. Look at that magazine. And then you only need that many shots to kill somebody. Which, makes this gun incredibly broken. You can see, too, we're getting extra instances of damage since we have multi-shot plus we have the radial attack. So we're getting the initial damage plus the radial attack bonus. So we're getting tons of instances of damage. Like you can see just from, see if I get 1 shot off here on an enemy that doesn't have anything on them. I shot 2. Shot 2 again. It's hard to shoot 1 bullet with this gun sometimes. You can get the gist of it though. You can see that we're getting upwards of 5 status effects and on 1 bullet, which is really nice. You can see this thing absolutely shreds. I use this thing in level cap. It's really strong. I'll use it in disruption too. You can bring this really wherever you want and it'll do totally fine. I could show you how it looks if like I actually prime the enemies with like my compressor. I'll show you what kind of damage this thing does with that. Let me just get my incarnon form back up. You can see the incarnon form is not all that bad to stack either. Make sure I keep my deadhead up. Didn't get the stack there. We'll get it here. Very nice. Actually, I lost all my stacks because I went in the arsenal, so I got them all back now. Now you can see if I prime all these enemies up and I shoot this guy, you can just see the damage that this thing puts out. Very, very impressive gun. Just the fact that it has such a large clip, you know, makes it so good. I mean, well, aside from the fact that the weapon itself has amazing power, the fact that this weapon has a 600 round clip is just insane. With how easy it is to charge the incarnon and the size of the clip, like I could just shoot. I still have over 200 shots in the magazine, by the way. Like, yeah, I'm just ripping through. Oh, they're all dead. I still got a whole bunch more. So it's got a huge mag. It's really, really good. This is definitely like more so the single target build. I would say you go for it. Now I have an AoE set up here for you guys. This one is actually going to look a little bit different. This one we still go for cold here, but we go for primed Bane of Grenier. We have galvanized chamber here. We have critical delay, prime cryo round, so we can get cold to combine with the heat in the incarnate form to give us blast, so we get blast corrosive. And then we also just run flaceration here. We don't have aptitude on here. We're just running flaceration. You can run aptitude if you so choose to, but I'm running flaceration to help with the radial attack values. And then we just run the critical damage here once again. Now on this one, we are running primary crux, and we also don't have galvanized scope, so we're not going to be getting reds, but we do have vigilante supplies. So with the amount of fire rate and multi-shot this weapon has, you're going to be able to get a tons of procs out of this. So you'll get a tons of reds anyway. Then we have Crux on here because this is going to be blast focused, so it's going to give us a ton of blast procs. You can go for deadhead on this still if you want to, but for me, if I felt I was going to lean into the blast, I would lean more into the status chance. You can see here, it's still very effective. You can do tons and tons of damage with it. Really, really easily. You don't need to worry about stacking deadhead because you'll stack procs in like a millisecond with how fast this weapon fires. This one's going to be better for like group clearing, obviously, because we have the innate AoE from blast. You could even use like toxic blast like this, and the blast will spread toxin. Yeah, so it's really, really solid. You can go about it the way you want. But I just wanted to show you guys these two builds here, because these are two builds that I personally like using on this weapon. So if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment down below, please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful day.